If you're watching this video or listening to this audio, then you most likely grew up in a narcissistic, dysfunctional family system. So understand that in a narcissistic family, roles are assigned, not chosen. Roles are assigned, emotions are controlled, and the whole system revolves around maintaining the narcissist's ego and illusion of control. So there are a couple of core roles in this dysfunctional family system. And first up, let's talk about the narcissist. And this is usually a parental figure. You see, the narcissists need constant admiration and control. And oftentimes you'll see they use manipulation tactics such as guilt tripping or gaslighting. And they're doing all of this to maintain a sense of dominance over the other family members. Next up, you have the narcissist sidekick. And this is the enabler who oftentimes have a lot of people-pleasing tendencies. And the enabler is oftentimes another parental figure. So the enabler supports the narcissist image. They enable abuse by ignoring abuse. And they prioritize keeping the peace. And keeping the peace here is in air quotes because enablers oftentimes don't have a working backbone, right? So you'll see where the narcissistic parent pushes around the enabler, and the enabler in the sense of keeping the peace enables abuse. Next, let's talk about some of the roles that the children will be assigned. So you have the golden child. And the golden child essentially oftentimes will be spoiled rotten. So this child is idealized and used to boost the narcissist's image, and they are praised for obedience, not for authenticity. And this is why oftentimes a lot of golden children grow up to be egomaniacs or egotistical like the narcissistic parent. Next, let's talk about the scapegoat. And if you're listening to this audio or watching this video, then you most likely were assigned the scapegoat role and a combination of the invisible child role or the lost child role, which I'll talk about in just a bit. So know that the scapegoat is there for the parental figures to dump their stuff on, right? So the scapegoat is oftentimes blamed for problems that they did not cause. And the scapegoat essentially becomes the emotional dumping ground. And oftentimes know that if you are the scapegoat, you're the truth teller, and narcissistic parents don't like truth, so they are going to dump on you. Next, you have the invisible child or the lost child. And the invisible child or the lost child is neglected emotionally, and they learn to stay small and unnoticed to avoid conflict. Next, let's talk about the emotional dynamics in this dysfunctional family system. What you will oftentimes see here is that love is conditional, right? You'll see that love is doled out based on performance. So this essentially is manipulation. Additionally, what you will see is that boundaries are disrespected or punished. And the children's reality is distorted through gaslighting. Additionally, you'll see where authenticity is unsafe and the kids learn to mask their true feelings. And finally, guilt, shame, and fear are the primary control mechanisms in this dysfunctional family system. Now, long term, what you will see is that children raised in this system often grow up to struggle with self-worth and boundaries. Oftentimes, these children attract toxic relationships. They may experience CPTSD, anxiety, or chronic self-doubt. They may even confuse abuse with love. And oftentimes, a lot of children that grow up in these dysfunctional family systems become people pleasers or hyper independent. Know that healing starts when you realize this wasn't a normal family. There was dysfunction because this is essentially a system built to serve one person at the expense of everyone else. So if any of this rings home to you and you need personalized support in healing properly from narcissistic abuse or understanding your dysfunctional childhood dynamics, go ahead and reach out to me via the narcdojo.com website, where you can book a one-on-one coaching call where you can let me know what's happening, and we can move from there in developing a strategy for you to properly heal. So know that if you grew up in a narcissistic dysfunctional family system, you have to be able to see the dysfunction to stop the dysfunction. So if you are a scapegoat, you need to escape. You will need to leave to give yourself the space to heal and grow.